The Dyatlov Pass Incident, a mystery that remains unsolved. The Dyatlov Pass Incident is considered one of the most mysterious and eerie events in human history. In 1959, a group of 9 young hikers tragically lost their lives under unexplained circumstances in the Ural Mountains. Their tent was found ripped from the inside, and their bodies were discovered frozen, leaving behind an unsolved tragedy. The incident has inspired numerous theories due to its mysterious details. Here are the striking details of the Dyatlov Pass incident and the questions it left behind. The night of the incident. The mystery begins. On the night of February 1st, 1959, a group of 9 hikers led by Igor Dyatlov set up camp near Ural Mountain. This camp was part of their planned route, and despite the challenging weather conditions, the hikers proceeded with confidence in their experience. However, that night, an unknown disaster befell the group. The area where the camp was set up. The group set up their tent in an area called Holat Siakal, which means dead mountain in the local Mansi language. Normally, they would have chosen a more sheltered area, but according to Igor Dyatlov's journal, the group's plan was to spend the night on an open slope to enhance their experience in harsh conditions. The area was known for its strong winds and heavy snowfall, and the temperature dropped to about minus 30 degrees Celsius. The mysterious situation inside the tent. When search and rescue teams found the group's tent after the incident, it was discovered to have been ripped open from the inside. The hikers had not opened the tent door, but had instead torn through the side of the tent with a knife or another sharp object to escape. This suggested that the group had acted in a panic, and whatever they encountered caused them to flee rapidly. Inside the tent, food and personal items were neatly arranged. The hikers had not taken their most essential protective items, such as their boots and thick clothing. This detail indicated that the incident was experienced with sudden fear. Traces of their escape. Footprints in the snow revealed that the hikers left the tent in a calm manner, walking close together, not running. This was strange. If they were fleeing in panic, why did they walk calmly? The footprints continued for about a kilometer from the tent and then suddenly disappeared. The areas where the bodies were found. The hikers' lifeless bodies were found at different distances from the tent and in 3 separate groups. This distribution suggested that the group had split up in the dark and tried to escape in different directions. The first group, under the pine tree. About 500 meters from the tent, the bodies of Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko were found under a pine tree. Both were nearly naked, wearing only their underwear. There were climbing traces on the tree branches, and a small fire residue was found beneath the tree. This suggested they had tried to start a fire to survive and had climbed the tree to observe their surroundings. The second group, between the tent and the pine tree. Between the tent and the pine tree, the bodies of group leader Igor Dyatlov, Zenaida Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin were found. These 3 seemed to be trying to return to the tent. Their position supported this theory. Dyatlov, found face down on the snow, appearing to reach toward the tent. Kolmogorova, found in a position where she seemed to be struggling to move, on her hands and knees. Slobodin had a skull fracture, but it was determined that this injury was not fatal. The third group, under deep snow. About 75 meters farther from the tent, in a stream bed, the bodies of Lyudmila Dubinina, Alexander Kolovatov, Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, and Semyon Zolotaryov were found. These four were more warmly dressed than the others. However, since the area where their bodies were found was deeper in snow, it took weeks to locate them. Lyudmila Dubinina, found with severe chest injuries and her tongue torn out. Thibault-Brignol had serious skull fractures. Semyon Zolotaryov, his chest was broken and he was found holding his notebook, but the pages were blank. What happened in the final moments of the hikers? Looking at the distribution of the bodies and the traces, it is clear that the hikers fled the camp quickly at some point during the night, splitting up as they struggled against the cold. However, the reason they left the tent and the source of the injuries remains unknown. The severity of the cold and the dark environment may have made it impossible for the hikers to act strategically, but the severe chest fractures, missing tongue, and radiation traces point to something far more than a simple case of hypothermia. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most unexplained tragedies in history, with all these details keeping its mystery alive.